Another episode in Sparkle TV. I'm Pingel, and today I guide you to the last amuse of the miniseries, The Sound of You. And we've been looking at the image that we have of our sound in this series, and we have been playing with the opening the places in our body that might repress sound. So we find more breath to use our sound and to let it flow freely, spontaneously, so we can be spontaneously ourselves. And today we will use our sound to find the healing properties of it for our own body, as our sound can also open the tight places and tensed places in our body. So I invite you today to lay down on your mat and take a moment how you connect with gravity today. And listen into your breathing and just sense the places that are not touching the floor. How are you breathing in these places? And some of the parts of our skeleton are maybe curved a little bit, the spine for example, because of the form. And sometimes also the muscles work harder in these places, and so the form is exaggerated. And these places can cause us a lot of tension or pain, as these places become the sensitive places. Other places work less, and these places always are working. And so they carry everything for our family system, the body family system. So to find more ease in these places, and sound can help here. So also sense the bones of your legs and arms resting on the floor. And when our body is free to sound, it is as if all parts in the body, the bones, the muscles, the tissue, the open spaces in our body, the cavities, they are all like speakers. They are all resonating sound. And when there's tension, the area becomes so dense that sound cannot open up there. And the funny thing is that we can direct our sound there and start to open up with the vibration, and we will use the specific vowels, the specific tones also that help energy centers in the body open. And there is 7 energy centers along the spine. They are also called the chakra centers, and each of them has a specific tone that vibrates, resonates, and opens up certain parts in the body that are governed by this energy center. So let's start by visualizing again our channel of sound on the inside of the spine, from the sacrum to the top of your neck. Sense the shape and sense the breath flowing through like a river. And it's an imagination. We can imagine our breath to be in all places of the body, as the whole body responds as the lungs receive the air and start expanding. And then imagine that this channel of sound is your midline. It's really the middle of yourself, between left and right, front and back. And from this midline, 2 lines go downwards, the lines of your legs, like very primary cardinal lines. And they represent the bones and joints of the legs. And just feel how they are lying on the floor. And to the sides more higher up on the midline, go the lines of the arms. Just sense where they connect to your midline, to your primary midline. I call it primary. It's a very simplified image of ourselves. Like little kids start drawing, will be one of their first drawings, the way they represent ourselves, the way they see themselves. And then slowly they start to add more. In the first place, it's only these lines. And they can help us to really get a sense of how energy flows through the body, how it goes in all these places. So sense where the lines of the arm connect with your midline and the lines of your legs. And then also sense the top of your head on top of your midline, your crown. And you might represent the head as a ball. And having set up this simple image of ourselves, can you now start lifting just a little bit an arm, and as you drop it, can you start this sound of the humming, opening up as the sound reaches into the arm with a the sound of the base chakra. Opening up. And as the sound opens up, the arm drops again on the floor. So we use the lifting on the breathing in, and then as we sound from humming into the arm with the open mouth going into the we drop the arm. And the base chakra governs our bones, all the dense, compact parts of our body. It's really our connection also with earth, our contact with the ground. So can we really drop into the ground with relaxation, with this open sound, and sending this sound through your bones and joints to all the corners. So as you have dropped one arm, you might lift the other arm, and then as you breathe out, just start humming into an open sound, open tone of as you drop the arm. And also the legs. You can lift a leg ever so slightly. It has to be just this little bit pleasantly comfortable lifting. Doesn't have to be a workout. That will be some other terrain, some other way of working. And here we look for, in the Feldenkrais method, we look for the pleasant movement, the movement that makes our mouth watering of joy. The way the body responds if something is really nice. It starts to create saliva. And we can have that with movement, with food. And to listen into that whispers of the body. Where does it like the movement? So make it ever so small. And guide your breath and sound into the movement. Into these parts of the body that you're lifting and dropping. So we have this, we have the arms that we can drop, we have the legs that we can drop, and we can also lift the head just slightly and drop it ever so slightly, making the sound of ah. As the head has the skull, a really big bone, we can drop a part of our hip, another hip, as the pelvis also is a big bony structure. There's so many bones in our body, and the bones have a very important part in resonating for the sound that we receive and the sound that we send out. So if the bones are free to connect with gravity when they can be loose, when we don't hold them with our muscles, when we don't tie the muscles around them so hard that they cannot move anymore, our skeleton can be free to guide us, to stand vertical with ease. And the muscles just start to do what they are meant to do, supporting and being a motor for movement. So a few times the arms, the legs and the head, lifting them ever so slightly and dropping them as you go into the tone of and can you make this tone lower and lower, resonating very deep with your pelvic floor, with your deep part of your pelvis, the bass, the bass tone of us. And doesn't have to sound beautiful. Play with your sounds. Just be spontaneous and silly about it. I read in my group that many people feel they want to be more spontaneous and sometimes even met their silly one. And this is a way to find that spontaneity back, to just play and not bother about what you will be heard like or look like. That's you. That's you in all your colors, in all your tones. So rest a moment. And just sense what the sounding in the bones has done with the way you connect with the floor now. And the more we connect with the floor, the more we come in this place of feeling safe. And the base chakra is about this thin line between I am alive or I am surviving. And when we feel safe, we step into life and we start to open our senses to life. And we are in survival. We are really like in our alert mode, and there's anxiety flowing through our glands, and the adrenal glands are producing all these stress hormones. So to come in this safe place is relaxation. Now let's step into the area of the pelvis and just put your hands on your ovaries, just on the inside of your hip bones, or if you are a guy, you can put them also in that place, and you will probably work more with your testicles. And every time now as you breathe out, can you breathe into this place with the sound of ooh, and really sound it, make it louder, and let it swirl around in your pelvis. And this is the sound of the sacral chakra. So you allow it to come through the channel of sound and then whoosh in your sacral chakra. And the sacral chakra is about fluidity, mobility. And this mobility of the pelvis allows our spine to be free. So in all these places in your pelvis where you feel there's a little bit of tightness, whoosh in your ooh. Make it swirl around, make it dance, make it move, swing. Just like you would like your pelvis to move, that can be your dance with sound now. And you can play with the height of the tone. It can be a lower tone or a bit more playful, going up high. Just make it dance. That is the sound. The ooh. And don't bother when the breathing out, when the air is out. Just wait when another flow of air comes in and then you let it go again. And I encourage you to be silly with your sound, to really play with it, to be in this place of no concern. Let it free you. That is the self-healing property of our sound. When it's free, it frees us, it frees the body, and the body is really hunkering to be set free by all these beliefs we have about ourselves. It's not waiting for that. It just wants to live and play. It's made for movement, our body, and if it's repressed in movement, it gets very unhappy. Ooh. And as you sound, can you release your jaw? Can you just drop it? Can you feel the weight of your jaw? The sacral chakra governs anything that has to do with our sexuality and spontaneity, intimacy, sensuality. So all the parts in the pelvis, they are all the sexual organs, Also all the organs that have to deal with fluids, like the kidneys, the bladder, the blood. It all has, it's governed by this sacral chakra, and also the emotions and the sensations are part of, yeah, they are bundled there. And so often when we have like a deep emotion, we might also feel it in our lower body, really. So when we play with this chakra, we really come into this spontaneous place where we sense ourselves, where we emote, where we are in connection with our emotions, where we feel very alive, if we allow that. And the sacral chakra really balances between polarities like pain and pleasure, and it's like finding that balance. So we feel everything in this. This chakra is about feeling everything and embracing that as your experience in life, and then find the balance. How can we do something about that in a way that it fits with the body, that it acknowledges the body and the messages the body has for us. So now bring your sound just above your navel, on the side of your lower ribs, just below that, the place where the stomach and liver are, with the fingers pointing to each other. And now start sounding oh, and make it travel just in that upper part of your belly. And your belly is like more dimensional. It has a front, a side, a back. Of course, it has the bottom. There we were in the lower pelvis. The belly ends, of course, with the pubic bone. But the roof of the belly is the diaphragm. The diaphragm is like the roof of the belly. So now we work with the upper belly, upper abdomen, and that is the solar plexus, our will, our direction, our focus. It's all solar plexus. I am, to be okay with being. And it governs the digestive system, everything that is about fire, about transformation, emotions, food. The muscles are governed by the solar plexus. They generate energy. So the solar plexus is very important for our energy household. And the sound of the solar plexus is oh. And you might want to play with your mouth as if we done these things with the lips, curling them and making faces. You might want to play with the mouth, just like you eat. You don't eat with your mouth in one position. It's moving all the way. So moving with the mouth, activating this whole system that is governed by the solar plexus. Playing with the sound of awe. And awe can sound like low and it can come a little higher, like the flames of a fire. It's very agile energy. So to play with that. Let your sound dance a little bit like fire. And feel how it goes to the back of your belly and touches with the back and with the sides of you. As if you are molding there, making it grow with the sound, making all these muscles soften. The digestive organs can have a lot of tension, and especially the liver, as it is being there's a lot of load on the liver. And so when we can send in the sound there and allow it to breathe in the sound and expand a little bit and find its own relaxation back. And that goes for the stomach as well. So really working with the organs of the digestive system. Oh, like you're caressing them, like you're molding them a little bit, massaging them with your sound. I feel space. And it might also help the diaphragm, this really big muscle, to relax more. And often when we have a lot of tension, that is where we have a lot of tension also in the diaphragm, and our breathing becomes shallow. The lungs cannot fully expand anymore. So it has a lot of influences filling up the sound. We'll go a little longer today. I like to go to all the energy centers. Now let's open the heart space, the rib cage. The heart is in the middle, the rib cage, the lungs. Using the sound of ma, feeling this inner smile of yourself. Smiling as you use the tone of ah. And every time you feel this tone coming, can you relax the mouth, the lips, the jaw? Can you allow it to just lead you the sound? Opening the rib cage, and you might feel, especially in the lower ribs and middle ribs, can you send the sound in between the ribs, softening the muscles of the rib cage, allowing the ribs to move again, and each rib, 12 on each side, has its own little movement in relation to the other ribs, to the chest bone, to the spine. The ribs are connected to the front and back with cartilage. So there's this little movement possible so that the lungs can really expand in all places. Your lungs being multidimensional, having a floor, a top, and then around like containers that can just fill up with air. And what ribs do need more movement? Can you send your sound there? Mwah. And then start laying your hands on the upper ribs, the clavicles and the upper ribs that are governed by your throat chakra. And the throat chakra is about the voice, about speaking your own truth, courageous, about saying what you need, about communication. And so often we forget to say what we need, and then we start to emote, of course, and we get upset. And to say what we need, and the need, that is what we feel in the sacral chakra. And this whole passage, when that's free, we feel this is what I need, and I can speak my mind, I can speak my body, I can speak my emotions with clarity and focus. So when we lay the hands on the upper ribs that are also governed by this throat chakra, and the throat itself can be opened with the sound of I, as in my. I, and you might feel it is moving here. It vibrates here, and can you enlarge that vibration? I, sending it behind your clavicles into these high ribs that so often are stopped for movement as we are tensed in the throat. Then also we affect these upper ribs, and we affect our breathing. And to the back also, feel also that there is a back of this upper rib cage, and the upper rib cage in the back meets the shoulders and the upper spine there. So to really eye in that, and let the sound sing around, resonate in every little corner of your upper rib cage, your throat, the neck area, the neck vertebra. Maybe you can send the sound in between these 7 neck vertebra, allowing the muscles to be massaged a little bit by the sound. It's the sound of I as in, in English it's I. It's just that one letter that also represents I am. This is me. I let myself be heard. And so when we can do that for ourselves to be heard. We might feel this opening a lot. Every chakra has a big advantage from that. Everything can free up from our whole body has a benefit there. When we can be heard, we release. We start to feel safe. We start to feel safe in ourselves. We start to come home. And when we find it hard to let our sound being heard, we hide in ourselves. When we don't really feel safe, we can still be seen. In one moment, when we cannot speak our needs, we are not safe. So it really disturbs the balance of the chakras. Going a little higher, the third eye represents our eyes, our cheeks, the cavities here, the sinuses, the mouth. The mouth is also covered by the throat chakra, and parts above it are also covered by the third eye, and they all have interrelations. And the sound here is A. We might send the A also in the whole skull, opening everything in our head, making our head empty, getting head space. So as you feel the sound coming up to your channel of sound, let it swirl around in your whole head, in your skull, the back of your skull, the top of your skull, behind the eyeballs, underneath underneath the cheekbones, in the cavities. The sound of A, and you might want to bring it to a higher octave, making it a high tone. And you might feel it starts to play around higher up in your skull. You might feel it buzzing around, opening all these danced areas that are full of thoughts and beliefs, and creating some space in our heads. And it might be very calming for our mind to let go and to connect more with the body and sensations. And we also help to open the crown, and the crown connects us with spirit energy, just like earth energy is the energy we need for life force. And the crown connects us with this higher consciousness that goes beyond our own awareness, our own consciousness. So we can open that, and then to end this exploration today, let's go through all the sounds and connect the chakras, balance them with each other. Going from the and as the A sound, the last sound, he becomes more high, more E. It also addresses the crown. So going through all the sounds, and we had the base chakra with the the sacral chakra with U, the solar plexus chakra with the O, the heart chakra with the A, the throat with I, the third eye chakra with the A, going higher up into the crown, connecting all the chakras, working through your channel of sound, sending this vibration and let it resonate in all your body parts. And doesn't have to be good. You don't have to be a singer or a speaker. You just have to be you with your sound, playing with yourself, opening up your body. And well, if you have more sound, we are ready to sing more. Have more fun with that. And you might experience that your breathing space has become bigger. That the breathing in and out has extended a little bit more. And normally when I bring this into a course, a full course or a retreat, we go into all these aspects much longer. We spend far more time with it, and we work with creativity and with dance and with Feldenkrais lessons that are really guided to open all these spaces and to get awareness of how this whole vocals work and how we use our voice and can use our voice, the habits that are behind, the core beliefs that stop us, that we help us, don't help us to be open. So this is just a little taster, a little series to have a first taste of what it can be, how it can help you to feel more spontaneity, more playfulness, and to feel emotionally more stable. Then you can have your sound being freed. And for your body to feel more softness, more gentleness, less of these tight, strained places. So take a last moment to rest and feel your bones in the floor and your joints, the primary lines of the start of this lesson, your legs, your arms, and this midline to which the channel of sound comes from the sacrum all the way up to your head. And don't forget to feel your tailbone, that's also part of the midline. Just sense how it's all connecting with the floor, how your breathing has changed maybe. And then prepare yourself to stand up and walk a bit for yourself. And as you stand up and walk, stay with the little differences that you might sense in your body. And the more we are able to feel the smallest of differences, the more we can tap into this neuroplasticity function of our nervous system, this endless growing capacity. Where our attention goes, our nervous system goes. And so we guide our nervous system, we help it to review some of these connections that were formed through habits in movement, emotional habits, and mental habits. Okay, so next week, no Feldenkrais, but we will dance. We will make a dance every day, and it will be a type of free dance. I will guide you to some themes, and then we will free dance with that. Just one number, and a dance a day keeps the doctor away. That's what I believe, and so I have this as one of my practices. Every day a dance, just to feel my crazy, spontaneous me being as much awake as the serious thinking me. And it helps my body to really let go of the emotions that might be suppressed a little bit, to let them flow and feel free. Inner freedom, very important in this time where our outer freedom is not always as free as it can be. So, have a beautiful weekend, a beautiful Easter. I say bye-bye now. Bye-bye. And if you liked what I was offering, please do a little like or comment. It helps the video to come higher in the rankings. And you help me to grow my business. Bye-bye.